Am I able to have just like one thing? Am I able to film one thing without you needing to be a part of it? Part of everything all the time? I'm gonna take that as a no. Alright. Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. You may notice we have a bit of a change of scenery today. I am sitting in front of the majority of my yarn stash. I have a little bit elsewhere as well, but today we are doing something a little bit different. We are going to be taking on, well, I'm going to be taking on, you're going to be watching me, I'm going to be taking on a inventory project of my yarn stash. I have a pretty good sense of what I have in my yarn stash. I just feel like this is going to give me a better sense of exactly how much of everything that I have. So I'm going to be using a spreadsheet put together by my lovely friend Ashley, who is at Ben Knitter over on Instagram. If you follow her already, you know about her spreadsheet. It's amazing. I was just looking at it now before I started recording, and it's very thorough. It's a little intimidating at first when you first look at it. I'm very much more of a data table person rather than like full-on spreadsheet person. So yeah, this is a step up for me for sure. So my thoughts with this is I'm going to be using this spreadsheet to just kind of get a sense of my yarn inventory as I use things, as I bring more things in, and I may or may not, well, I will use it to keep track of those things, especially going into the new year, but then for like my individual knitting goals for 2024, I'm going to be making one of my much more simplified spreadsheets, data tables, whatever you want to call it, Google Sheet, whatever. Oh my god, for a second I thought that wasn't recording. So yeah, this is very much a 2024 prep video. So yeah, let's get into it. So I'm obviously not going to film myself like going through like pulling down every single skein from my yarn stash and logging it into this spreadsheet. I'll just kind of give you an overview of the before, the during, and the after. So here's the before. I am looking at this spreadsheet. I'll do my best to post screenshots of what I'm looking at here on the video. So this spreadsheet has two main sheets. There is a skein-based sheet and then a grams-based sheet. The skein-based sheet has columns for yarn brand, yarn name / base name, colorway name, color, yarn weight, fiber content, yardage, grams, number of skeins you have in your stash, and then total yardage available, total grams available, if it has a project plan or not, that's a yes or no, the name of project you're planning, the link to the project, once you have made the project, the skeins used, yardage used, grams used, yardage remaining, grams remaining, yarn finished. Am I being dumb? Possibly. Charlie, stop licking my leg. Thank you. Is that like, did you finish? Oh, did you use up all of the yarn? Duh! It's a busy time of year, guys. My brain is not all the way functioning. So yarn finished, yes or no. Yarn traded / destashed, yes or no. Date obtained, and skeins in. So, whole lot of information for all of us data nerds out there. So I'm going to be going through, pulling down all the yarn that I have, logging it in here. It's going to be quite the endeavor, but once I'm done, I will show you my results and we'll see like all the totals and stuff that I have in here. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, if you follow Ashley on Instagram, you may know that she has a lot of videos already on how to use the spreadsheet and like different tips and tricks on filling it out and using it. So if you're interested in using this template, definitely go follow her, check out her page, she's awesome, and check out those videos. I probably should have watched more of those videos before I started. I probably would not have been as confused at some of these labels, but that's on me. That's not on anybody else but myself. It's not Charlie's fault. Oh, he's falling asleep over here. So yeah, this is the before. The template just has the great example row that's in here, and then yeah, I'm gonna go through and start cataloging. I think so. If you're looking at my stash, you can probably see how these top 2 rows are mostly like your hand dyed hanks of yarn, and then the bottom 2 are more commercial yarn. I got a lot of acrylic or acrylic wool blends in these bottom 2 rows, so I'm thinking of just maybe making this a hand dyed inventory to start. I feel like that's the grouping that I'm gonna need to make. That's that limit I'm gonna need to make for myself, because otherwise this is gonna become a little bit too much. So we'll see. I'll let you know what I decide at the end. So it's just going to be a couple of seconds for you guys, but I'm sure this is going to take me a while to put together. So I will see you on the other side.
These, you can put the number 2. You could see that this isn't populating, so I did this on purpose so that you guys could see how to troubleshoot, because you're going to need to know this. So in order to carry the formula down, you're going to go to the corner, look for this cross, and click it and drag it. So now you can see that this input, this is the total yardage available. So it's really just a formula.
Okay. Alrighty, so I am getting started with this. I was just reviewing Ashley's tutorials on her Instagram because I watched them through a few days ago. That does not mean I remembered everything. So I just, hi buddy. Oh, are you wet again? This is my life. Alright, well, I need to go towel off Charlie, and then I will be able to get started. I have decided, like I said earlier, to just focus on, like, my more indie / hand-dyed yarn. I might add the stuff that's down here at a later date, but I kind of want to get the sense of, like, these top 2 rows right now, because down here is a lot of leftovers from other projects, some acrylic that I have, a whole lot of scraps and stuff, so I'm not going to put those in just yet for the sake of this video and for the sake of me not taking up too much of my day today with this. I'm going to add the bottom half of my stash probably at a later date. Okay, so I have now inputted this first square here. I don't even know if you can see that, it might be out of frame, of my stash here. I have inputted that first little QB in, and now I'm going to show you what the spreadsheet looks like with a little bit of my yarn added in. Okay, so this is pretty much what it looks like. Sorry if my hand's a little shaky, I just found it a little bit easier to just record my screen from my camera rather than trying to remember how I do a screen recording on here. So, this is all the yarn from just one cube, my top leftmost cube of my shelf. So I have all the skeins inputted. I have marked whether I have a project for this yarn yet or not. I have the name of the project marked if I do. I'll go back and maybe put links here later. I didn't feel like navigating to a bunch of different Ravelry pages, just for the sake of time today, honestly. Remaining yardage and remaining grams, because obviously I haven't used any of this yarn yet. And then, oh, I didn't finish filling out the skeins in thing over here. But if you've watched Ashley's tutorials on her spreadsheet, you'll know that these last few columns here, like the yarn finished, the yarn traded / destashed, skeins in, all of that are mostly for like sorting the spreadsheet later if you want to like find information. Same thing for the remaining yardage, like this column, remaining yardage and remaining grams, would be really useful like if you have a little bit left over and you want to know if you have enough of a color for like a contrasting color in a different pattern or something like that. So yeah, let's see. First cube took up 16 lines on this spreadsheet. Oh, and another thing I noticed while doing this, and of course this is the case for all spreadsheets, once you've like put in something in a certain column, oh, that's not going to be in focus. There we go. So like I have the little foxes put in here. If I have another thing from the little foxes, I can just type and it'll automatically fill in the little foxes. I know that's how spreadsheets work in general, but it's definitely a time saver once you get going on your spreadsheet. So yeah, I'm going to keep going with this and check back with you probably once I'm done. Oh, I didn't even show you like the most important part. Right now, let's zoom in a little. So this is only 1 cube of my shelf, and I have 5,969 yards of yarn and 1,400 grams of yarn, just in 1 cube, and I'm documenting 6 of them today, so let's see where we end up later. Alright, I am now finished with the topmost row of my stash, along with any yarn that's on my desk right now. The reason it's on my desk is just because I haven't talked about it in a knitting update video yet. So I'll talk about that stuff in my next video probably, which will probably be a knitting update. So in the top row, so these top 3 cubes, I am at 11,573 yards, 2,960 grams, and around 100 skeins of yarn. Now, skeins has a little asterisk next to it because I am counting minis and then like half skeins, like 50-gram skeins, like the ones I got in my Paisley Knits 12 Days of Christmas countdown last year. These were 50-gram, so like half skeins. I am counting those as skeins because that's easier for my brain right now. I might end up going back to changing it, or I might end up going back to change it at a later date, but right now it's easy to be like, okay, yep, there's 6 minis in this mini set that I have. I'll just count that as 6 skeins, even though they are 20-gram mini skeins. I might go back and say, okay, no, they're actually 0.2 of a skein because they're 1/5 of a 100-gram skein, but at this time, I'm not doing that. So yeah, that is the first row. I still have this row that's behind my head to calculate, and I will check back again once I do that. But yeah, it's definitely going a little bit quicker now that I've gotten the hang of documenting everything. And whenever I get tired, I just keep telling myself, this is the big part, like getting everything I already have. Once I have this set, when I get new yarn in or I use yarn or whatever, it's going to be a lot easier and it's not going to be as much work. So I just keep telling myself that as I finish each part of my stash here. So yeah, I'll check back when I'm done. Alrighty guys, I am done, and Charlie's entering the chat again. Hi! Thank you. Can I finish up my video, please? Please? You wanna say hi to the people? He's like, you have been doing this for 4 hours. I'm aware, buddy, but you gotta let me finish up. Can I finish this video, please? Okay, well, I'm just gonna talk to you and ignore him. What? I didn't say anything. Hi. Okay, so we are just about 4 hours later from starting this endeavor, right? And so, again, I was just doing the top 2 rows of my stash here, and so I talked earlier about how I was counting the minis and like 50 gram skeins as skeins, because I could potentially use them like individually and things. That being said, sock sets I'm counting as 1 skein, because since it's a sock set, my intention when I bought them was to use the mini and the full together in something. So I counted those as 1 skein, but I did say that they were like 120, 140, whatever, gram skeins. So yeah, takeaways. Let's see. In these 6 squares of my stash, I have 198 skeins, some of those being sock sets. Total grams are 8,790. Total yardage, 34,909 yards available. Or, no, that's per skein. That's right. Yardage available, because I have multiples of lots of colors, as you can see, is 56,556. That's a weird number. I don't like that number. It's not weird because it's a lot. It's just weird that it's like 56,556. Yeah, no thoughts anymore, just vibes when it comes to these numbers. Total grams available, so the earlier grams was like grams per skein. Total grams available, 15,090 grams. So here I thought getting all of this cataloged and organized would like help me, and now I'm just kind of feeling overwhelmed. That's totally on me. I should have known like seeing these big numbers would do that to me. But hey, now I know, and now I can work on being more mindful when I purchase yarn, because a lot of this, not a lot, but a portion of this I did buy when I was first getting into like indie and small business yarn, and I just wanted to support everyone all the time with all their collections and stuff. So that's why like this entire cube is sock sets, because that is my go-to purchase when I want to support someone's collection, is a sock set. So I can just, my big takeaways from this, I can be more mindful when I'm purchasing yarn. I know like I can support people without like buying a sweater quantity every time, and that's okay. And I have a lot of yarn to work through, which I will. That is the goal eventually, is to work through a lot of this. A lot of it does have projects already. Like this whole top row, the way I have it organized is this has a project already. It's the middle row here that doesn't necessarily have a project, or it's sock sets, which the project would be socks. So a lot of it does have a project already. A lot of it, I don't really have one business that I support the most. I thought like it would come to be like, oh, I support, I have the most Red Door, or I have the most Sorella, or I have the most The Little Foxes, or something, but it's honestly pretty even looking at this, which is kind of nice to see as well. And then another big find, this is another reason I was doing this, to like remind me what I had in my stash already. This skein, it was from Isabel Fiber Company, She's Knitsabelle on Instagram. She actually does not dye yarn anymore. When she was, when she like announced that she was stopping her dyeing business, she announced, or she put like a bunch of leftovers on her Instagram stories for a de-stash. So I got a pretty sizable chunk. So like these skeins here are also from Isabel, and this skein is. So these ones are all DK, but this one is Sport. So for the longest time I was looking at this in my stash and thinking, oh yeah, it's another like single DK, I'll have to find like a colorwork sweater to use that with or something. It's actually a Sport weight. And I'm really excited about that is because I have been wanting to make the, I think they're called the penny gloves from Petite Knit. Rachel from Anthronits has made a couple pairs and they just look really useful. When I'm doing stuff like hanging Christmas lights or something like I was a week or two ago, I want to wear gloves because it's cold, but I don't want to wear gloves because I can't like freaking hang Christmas lights while I have gloves on. Like, it's like my fine motor skills just go away. So I've been wanting to make like just a basic pair of fingerless gloves, and I was trying to decide what to do because the pattern does call for either like a fingering and a lace held together or a Sport weight. And I was like, well, I could fudge it and use a DK. I could like hold a fingering skein double. I have a Sport weight skein, guys. So, this is actually going to be moving up to the top row of my stash because it has a project now. This is going to be made into penny gloves whenever I need just like a nice little quick knit, maybe after I finish my sheep camp that I'm still working on. Probably when I finish the rats that I'm working on for gift knitting. So yeah, these are going to be penny gloves, so these like get to move on up in the world and go on the top shelf. Look at that! So yeah, this was an experience today, neither good nor bad. I'm glad I did it, for sure, because now I have a really solid picture of my indie yarn stash. And now I can take this information and use it as I will. And that's going to be super exciting, especially, like I said earlier, going into the new year, maybe setting my goals for knitting, or my stash goals for the new year. Maybe I want to try and go net negative. This year, instead of making like a net negative stash goal, I just wanted to track my stash change throughout the year. So maybe with this information now, I can actually set like a net negative or an actual quantity maybe for what I want my stash to look like by the end of 2024. So yeah, lots of good takeaways from this. I am still feeling a little bit overwhelmed, but I feel like that's okay. I feel like that's normal when you actually like quantify something like this, and actually put it down into numbers and data. So yeah, that's all that I have for you guys today, I think. I will be coming at you again before the new year with at least one, if not two, knitting updates. I am very close to finishing my sheep camp, and I have yarn to show you in the next knitting update, so hope you stay tuned for that. And oh, I actually do have an announcement. I have put out a testing call for my Moonrise socks. I talked about them maybe a couple knitting updates ago. So if you head on over to my Instagram, which is annabethkntwrthy with underscores between the words, and you click on the link in my bio, that's where you will find the tester application for my Moonrise socks. Yeah, other than that, I think that's all that I have. I'm gonna go give Charlie some attention because he's mad that I've been in my room all day, basically. So yeah, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you want to use a spreadsheet like this? If you do, go check out Ashley's Instagram at @BenKnitter. Or are you happy, like, just vibing with your yarn stash. I'm happy to do both, so that's where I'm at right now, and yeah, I'm really tired. So that's why my brain isn't with me right now. So I'm just going to end it here. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.